Welcome to Dependable Flame, where we explore vintage petrol lighters, ashtrays, tobacconana, and other useful mechanisms. Make yourself at home. Today we have a really heavy metal ashtray that I found here a while back in a local antique mall, one that I had never been to before. It is not in perfect condition. Shows some corrosion, plating loss, paint loss. It had some gummy areas on it, and I've cleaned it up. Had some areas inside with some tarish buildup, and then there was a very old price sticker that had petrified on the back. But I got some alcohol. I think I got all that off. Just washed it with soap and water. Other than that, and it cleaned up the paint that remains really nice. It was a lot dustier looking in the store. This isn't the kind of thing I normally buy when it's not perfect, but it's had a relatively small price tag, and the lady that I was talking to that day, who was one of the owners of the place, was very nice. I recognized her from a former life and was wanting to buy something just because she seemed like a nice lady. I talked to her for a long time, and I just didn't want to walk out of there empty-handed. So it says Hammond of Kalamazoo, grinding, polishing, buffing machinery. Hammond Machinery Building, Kalamazoo, Michigan. And you can see a spot of paint missing right there. Sort of comes with the territory on something like this. I bought it to use it is one reason why. It doesn't bother me that it has the corrosion or plating loss or a little bit of cosmetic damage. And that I paid $8 for it, a little bit more than I would normally pay, but I've already explained that. But it's a very nice heavy ashtray that isn't going to melt. It's got a good sizable basin for you to accumulate butts before you have to empty it. That's always a positive. It is a piece of cast metal that I believe has been plated. That was a couple of other lifetimes ago that I worked with some of these kinds of metals, but I don't believe that we ever plated any cast iron, so I don't know what this casting would have been of, what the base metal was, but it's obviously a casting. Obviously very heavy, and the plating on the perimeter of the ashtray is in pretty good shape. Very shiny, very nice. Has two cigarette rests I guess you could say cigar rests, joint rests, maybe even pipes or chillums. There are two places there where you can rest the implement that you are using to combust whatever it is that you are smoking. So I think I was saying a while ago that I have ashtrays all over the place and they get used. That's why I have them. I have a couple for sale in my store that were not bought to use, and I don't know, at some point I may start selling some of the ashtrays that I've accumulated. But so far I've really enjoyed finding them. You usually don't have to pay much for them, usually $5 or less, and they usually tell a story. So we can call this an ashtray. Sometimes I call it an other useful mechanism. This one is heavy enough that you could use it for a weapon if you needed to. I'm not advising that. But the kind of thing that if you can acquire for just a few dollars and make a friend along the way with the person that you are purchasing it from, then maybe it lays the groundwork for something else that you can purchase from them later. But nonetheless, now I have a nice ashtray that I can use anytime I like, and it's heavy enough, it's not going to run off anywhere. It's solid enough. It's not like some of these silicone or old plastic that deteriorate or melt. This is a respectable addition to the ashtray community here at the Dependable Flame headquarters. Kalamazoo, Michigan is where Bauer's lighters were manufactured. Bauer's slide sleeve. I'm trying to remember what the other models were. Seems like Surefire was one of them. One of the slip case, flip top petrol lighters. There were other names, other models. So the Bauer's lighters, I believe those have been around since at least World War I. Somebody can correct me on that. I don't have the iPad right in front of me now to check it. So feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. Plenty of vintage Tobacciana that has come out of Kalamazoo, Michigan. Until next time.